we
Gonna
would.
record us. I forgot to record.
So, Donna, so when it would it be possible instead of using theme to load all those tokens, right? If we could just like have some kind of like utility function that just basically
Mm.
pulls the, right?
Yeah, that would be nice too. But I guess what I'm thinking is, um, well, as I said, it depends what we want to use, right? Because
Right.
even let's say if you use even like build time libraries, so not like style components or like emotion or stuff like that. Um, I had some ideas on that. I wanted to try something new, and well, we can discuss that. But like with these new approaches, you load tokens, and you don't need to import anything after. You can just literally pass.
Yeah, I would say the scope of the work, Donut, is to make it worthwhile. This is light mode, right? If in the future there's a second hackathon and we want to build a dark mode, we want to work so that we can also import another set of design tokens that's like
Yeah,
dark.
yeah, that's true. Because even at work, we had very hard time to implement dark mode.
Right.
Whatever
Yeah.
approach was used
So
before.
we shouldn't think of it like, oh, it's just one and done and whatever
Yeah,
happens. We need to think about themability in the future because that could be another good hackathon topic, right? Like how to theme using design tokens. So I have all of that here. Again, I'm gonna stop talking. And again, hi Sharuk for joining. Thanks for joining. We were just talking about this plan, the roadmap that I put on FigJam. It's in the Slack channel. And we're already at the end of October mark, and our milestone here is to hand off the design file, which is what we're talking about here. The last bit, so I gave you guys the color variable for JSON. The last bit is how can we grab all of this? There's a lot of like, I mean, this is not a lot if you really just want to manually do it, but like if we could read Themo's documentation on how we could make it talk to Themo. Again, I don't know if you wanted this assigned to you or whoever is interested in pulling JSON out of Figma. Themo is on there already. So I want you guys to start driving the convo now. So if you need to use the Trello, feel free to make stories about this and break down the project a bit more.
Before we start that, just want to ask, like, what's the VIP that we're going for, as far as the components that you showed?
This is it. There's 5. And I think again, the idea is if we can help at least form this as the product on Storybook and then build a button, the tile, the avatar, right? Those are the things we want the students to build, right? So if you really break that down, we're asking them to just build a tile component with 3 states for 4 states. Button has 4 states. Link also has 4 states. And then the hardest piece would be popover.
Um, I just hold on a second. Sorry, I'll go after. Finish your thought.
I guess Anne would be like
Yeah.
more, you know, follow
No,
up.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, and we're still going with like one group mentor mentee per component, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I want to ask you guys how like this, if this size, for example, if we get 4 to 5 fellows and we get 4 to 5 mentors, can we get to this point where we, again, if it doesn't have to be mobile responsive, we can just go with maybe desktop because desktop shows the popover and this doesn't. Um,
Part of the VIP would be to put all the components together to build like that view.
I think it would make sense just to teach them atomic design, but you guys tell me if this is not doable. I'm just saying it's like if you let them build a button, that's really it. And that's what, 1 week, right?
Like they would be blocked by each other. Like let's say
Right.
one group is finished with the button, like they would have to wait for the rest of the components in order to start building the design.
Right. It,
So
it sounds like we have to break this into like 2 workshops or something. Like one is like building those components,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then the next one is like building this, right? Is that what you're thinking, Anne?
yeah, exactly. And I think building the components alone is like pretty valuable. I mean, we could also like have a like a group session towards the end where we're like, okay, everyone demo their stuff, and then now let's see if we can like put it together.
And I was
Right.
thinking that it's like a cooking show. And again, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself. And because like from my end, putting together the building blocks, if we have like divs, you know what I mean? Like prepared for them, and then we just slot it in whatever they have by that last week. I don't know, right? Like, is there, right? Like, I don't know if it's about composability. Like, are we teaching them? Because like essentially, right, a button is literally like, I forgot what my team does, but basically the name of our, let's say the name of the design system is spherical, right, button. And then like it's really like a few lines of code to ping the component, right? But like I don't know, again, I'm trying to think about how you would imagine that to be doable in 4 weeks. So I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. I think it just makes sense to put the puzzle pieces together. That's why I have it here as a stretch goal. But
Final page template could be really nice as like a take home after they finish.
yeah,
Right.
maybe that's a thing.
Yeah, where we can
I'm
like
pretty sure by the end of it, they're like, yeah, we would love to build
Yeah.
it so we can have it in our portfolio.
yeah. So I mean they can like import the design system, they can like, you know, do it as like a post project take home kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So stretch goal. Let's put templates as a stretch goal then for them. Homework.
So
Okay.
I want to go back to that token that you exported. I'm just like browsing through the different, I guess, tree on it. It looks like typography is included. I'm not,
Really?
yeah, so I'm not,
Uh,
I
yeah.
so
don't.
typography probably, yeah. Well, that
We
would
didn't put it in variables.
Can you search
maybe this
for
one.
typog? Yeah,
Oh
search.
yeah.
Is it so it's did you add these as part of the component library, Krisha? If
In
you
the
did,
styles, it's in the styles panel. Yeah.
so if it is, then that's where it's getting it from. I'm guessing they added variables later, but I assume they still,
They
that
still
you're
were
still
able to
able
get it.
to. Yeah,
Gotcha.
because the local styles definitely from most libraries that export tokens, most plugins,
Okay.
they always take the local styles as well because that's what I mean. Most companies actually didn't even update to variables yet. They're still using
Styles.
the styles. So
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how accurate this is because I'm seeing line height. Like there's some that are auto. There again, it doesn't matter because we're building components and not pages, but I know I put line height for these. Again, the only way we can find out is if we can double check what's on Figma. So let's go to base, right? The line height here, if you see how 56, 64, 64 is the line height for base regular Montserrat 56px. So I don't know why in that JSON file it has, again, let's look for it.
Is
Um,
that for that same what do you call it? Can you can you can you confirm just to make sure that, those are no, those
Oh, there we go. Some of
okay,
them have the right one. So
some
yeah, it looks like I have to make sure everything is right. Because like, let's see what this auto thing is. Again, I think this is very minimal. It's more about refinement. You see how like this says extra bold has auto? So
yeah,
maybe all of extra bold needs to be fixed before I give you the most
right,
updated.
right.
Because we can only run it once, right? We don't have like a pipeline.
Oh, well,
Um,
that's one of the things that I would want to kind of like have before things get started, right? So let's say, for example, if you want to change something on the token, you can just export the new JSON and then
mhm.
maybe like do like a pull request to update whatever we have on the
Okay.
repo, and then et cetera, right? So that's how I'm thinking of doing that. Yeah.
But look, so I'm in extra bold 56. Again, like I don't understand why it's not accurate. Extra bold 56. Oh, I see where it is. It's coming from tier 2.
Okay. So
It's coming from not the base, but tier 2. So I have to make sure that tier 2 is good.
so
It
if
doesn't.
I guess we can like fine tune that JSON
Mhm.
that we're getting from Figma. But also I want to ask Donna, like, because do you have you worked with, I mean, I'm not sure if there's something that you use to kind of like at work to transform those JSON into like what we can use.
I guess what I was thinking is because it doesn't make sense to do that in runtime, right? Like while running, always having to transform the JSON. I was thinking we write a script to
Right.
uh, like a Node.js script
Maybe
to
like generate variables out of the JSON file.
yeah. Well,
Well,
at work, a lot of times I just write scripts to automate stuff if I need to generate something. And we could even
are you
well, that's
talking about
definitely out of scope.
CLI, like some kind of CLI?
Yeah, yeah, like a CLI. Like I, I, it would be great to even like have a like a Figma plugin that does that, but that's definitely out of scope. We're not
Right.
gonna work on that. That
Okay.
would be, but at least we could just have a script that reads the JSON and creates well, depending on like what we're using. As I was saying, like we could just use a library for styling, and whatever we decide on, then because we want to have themes, right? Like what Krisha said,
Yeah.
what
Mhm.
happens when it comes to dark mode, or like even maybe multiple themes depending. So we could transform into the shape of whatever library we're using, or like how they, I guess, how
So
they define the theme in there. Like
I know Anne mentioned some time ago that I think what you for styling library we're looking at um what do you call it? Emotion. So I mean, is there something that we can I guess if we have to write that CLI to transform that JSON to whatever emotion can use, right? Is that
yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
okay?
We can do that. I guess I mean we use a emotion at work actually. And of course there's like no way to change it now because our design system is pretty massive. But if I would start again,
Yeah,
probably I wouldn't.
you would
Um
not. What would you use?
well, developer experience with emotion is great, we all
Uh-huh.
know that. Like, and probably it's very hard to find good developer experience with like build time CSS libraries. Um, but when it comes to performance and even I guess more modern build time libraries, like I saw Panda CSS. I'm not sure if you looked into it. That one is pretty good, and I think even the developer experience is not bad. You have type safety with that as well. Like you'll get IntelliSense for tokens as well.
Okay.
We maybe go with something more predictable that a lot of us have familiarity with.
Experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
'Cause-
true. I get it.
Even though it's gonna
Kinda-
pay off in the long run, you know?
Good thing, and because like one of my concern also, because we're not really starting this for us, we're actually starting it for those
yeah.
people.
I get your
Yeah,
point. That does make sense.
yeah,
We could do that. We could use
I have
emotion.
a quick question though. So just to recap, like the workflow that we're imagining would be like Krisha would like send us a generated JSON file and then
yeah.
locally run some kind of script, and that script would take the JSON file and transform it into like a list of ready-made design token variables, and then we'll just make a PR and add that
Right,
in.
right,
Got it.
right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like we have such a small task. I'm not trying to underestimate. But once I give you the JSON, we're just gonna like plug it in, right? Is that what's happening? What's the work that we
Well,
need to do?
The work would be writing the script to
right.
do.
The writing the script, and also,
This icon library is another one. This is not a JSON. This is an asset, by the way.
so one thing that uh I'm seeing also, I'm not sure if it's relevant or not, is okay, once that CLI generates whatever tokens that we would need, right? I mean, there has to be a way to like kind of like read those tokens, right? Like how do we read those and apply those into those various components that we're gonna build, right? So
Oh, well, there's two ways. If you pass it as part of the theme,
right,
then you'll get a callback with the CSS prop,
okay,
and then the
yeah,
callback is the theme, but it passes the theme itself. Or another way we could do it is export whatever we generate with a script, and well, that means you would need to import it everywhere you're using it.
right. That's say so. Okay, so one we could use a theme provider. So another is if we do not use a theme provider, we would have to import it. So those are the second scenario. And if if
Yeah.
if we're doing the second scenario, then we would need a way to kind of like read those tokens, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The another thing with emotion, if you, let's say, use the theme which comes with a callback, right?
Right.
Which is passed a callback, you don't really get type safety with that. You would need to,
For emotion.
yeah, you would need to give it a type.
So quick question, don't we have to end up exporting all the variables anyway because we want those variables to be made available to whoever is using the design system?
Whoever is using the design system.
Yeah, like I mean like,
But
right? You could call like heading 1 and then get whatever style heading 1 is. Or
no, I get it. But like, let's say if you create the theme, right? Then you would export the theme from
okay.
the design system. It could be part of the design system or in a separate package, depends. And then you would import the provider and wrap the app with a theme. I mean, that's how you would
And
do
like give an
emotion.
example of how you would like use something from the theme. Like if you want to use heading 1, would you just call like the theme passing in heading 1 or something like that? I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm-
but so there's as I said, like there's two ways, right? Like if you can pass a callback to, because with emotion um you're injecting the CSS prop, you're injecting as part of the CSS prop, you're injecting emotion itself. So theme, basically you can just pass a callback to it, which has access to the theme. You know what I mean? As part of that callback, emotion is passing the theme itself. So you could do CSS equals whatever, and then pass a callback. The callback passes the theme. So you just do theme and use the theme values as part of it.
Is
That's
there a
one way.
benefit to using provider versus just exports?
Yeah, export. That's what we do at work, as I said. But with that one, you basically need to import it, and we can do both approaches. That's still fine because, I guess to stay more consistent, you would do one, but still it's fine because you're going to use it outside components as well. Let's say if you're writing, what is that? If you add styles separately or.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
like
we
would either
definitely export.
both.
What was it?
So I'm just trying to think also like what is more beginner friendly?
Yeah.
Uh, well, I guess more beginner friendly would be I guess exporting theme values and then importing them wherever you need to use them.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
So
Yeah.
if that's the case, then that would mean we have to write another other like I guess we have to figure out how to read those values if there's going to be a utility a helper function to read those
Yeah.
values in and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's true.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt. I dropped the link to this guy, and if you're like, can you put your thoughts and post-its for workflow? For now, I know you're gonna put this in Notion, but I think for the purpose of sharing it to future folks, can we just put them here so I could take notes?
Is FigJam part of this link? I mean the
Yeah.
email.
I could add it in, but I dropped it in. Oh, are you guys having trouble here? I'm gonna drop it in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It looks so cool, right? And it's a real product. So I'm like, oh my God, we're like running the world, guys. Like we could be like an agency and that's all. So here, yeah, are you able to see this? This is I started a session so everybody doesn't have to log in. I started a session for one day. So if somebody can write down the workflow while and then share your screen, right? I'm gonna stop sharing so I could work on the typography while you guys are chatting.
Wait, I'm not seeing. Sorry. Let
It's
me
a
get on
Zoom.
the. Okay, got it. Yeah, I already took some notes so I can paste them in.
For the icons, also we probably would want to write a script.
Yeah.
We would need to do it manually. Yeah.
Like we could probably just download SVGs or
Well, yeah, so we would, there's multiple ways to do this, but I guess we could have the what is that? All SVGs in maybe Google Drive or I don't know, Dropbox or something.
oh, there's actually a place called Phosphor, which is have you heard of Phosphor icons? I don't think that's a paid thing.
Right.
It's just like What's the other one that's popular for icons? Forgot. It
I
starts with.
forgot.
But this is what we
The-
use at work. And Phosphor, the reason why I like it is because anytime there's new requests, we can just get it from Figma as well. But if you feel like it's too much, let's just do the weird.
Would you have to write a different script to run through like icons?
I mean, we could use material. It doesn't really matter. Like where can
Yeah,
we
you definitely for icon, because how also we need to decide how do we want to export icons. We could do one component and kind of use SVG sprites. So you could just pass like a name or something and you're loading whatever icon you need. Or we could generate all icons as components and then they could be imported from anywhere. The point is, so so let's say components icons have props for styling too, because you want to be able to just pass whatever color you want to use and also like a size that we support or even be able to customize them. So yeah, there definitely needs to be a separate script for it.
Yeah, that I think
Would
it's
it be useful to like start creating tickets for these so that we can define like what these like the expectations of like the outcome?
and I dropped in the Trello one on Slack, but I can drop it in here in case you guys are having a hard time with Slack. I could drop in the Trello.
I have it. Does that sound okay with you guys? Donut, Carlo?
Yeah.
You can share. Here's my see my screen. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so this would be. So I guess actually before we go on to like the ticket about writing script, setup is, do we want to define this?
TSDX, you Carlo, you suggested this, right?
Yeah. Is there something other?
Never used it, but sure, we can try it. I mean, they look good, kind of things that we need. So
Yeah, I mean, it was last maintained maybe like a couple years ago, but I love the fact that it's like zero config, right? You could just, as soon as you generate the scaffolding or whatever, you can just, you could just publish and consume your library right away. So I mean, if there's other, you know, suggestion also.
no, I mean it does look fine. I guess when it comes to zero config libraries, sometimes I'm like, okay, how much do they allow you to change though? Because
Right.
sometimes you just get stuck and you're kind of like overriding everything.
Do you want
Yeah.
to just, we just have like an investigation ticket to see like what is doable and what's like most straightforward?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
let's do like investigate.
But I don't really know any other library that kind of bootstrap stuff. I usually
Yeah.
would just start them from scratch.
Uh,
so, so I don't know.
which, yeah, we could investigate what our options are on like how we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay. So it's an option for bootstrapping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering, okay, so this one is a TypeScript rollup, just pretty, yes. Yeah. On the other side, no, I guess it's fine. No, this looks fine.
This will, okay, this would be
Or
for,
we could just like use Vite and the rest
We could do that too.
kind of bootstraps things and like adding ESLint, Prettier, Jest, these are straightforward. TypeScript also.
okay, so the next ticket would be to actually set up, right? Set up design system repo. So like definition of done, what would we say? You said prettier, TS, right? What else is there? Storybook,
Yes,
right?
Lynn. Yeah, storybook.
Storybook.
Definitely storybook. Hard.
Also, set up GitHub Actions.
What would the GitHub Actions do?
So probably just like a couple of workflows that run the unit test and also uh, uh build and deploy to the registry.
To npm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for example, for projects that are going to use a design system, yeah, I guess they're going to be separate, right? But not like a
Um,
mono repo or something.
Oh,
So
wait,
Uh,
just a quick question for unit tests. Are we going, like React would be part of like the setup as well, right?
yeah. Yep.
And RTL, React Testing Library, would be what we are using for unit tests.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And sorry, so going back to what you were saying about NPM, Donut?
what did I say? Oh, no, I'm just saying like the other projects would just be in separate repos, right?
Okay, yeah. That's what I'm imagining. So design system is just design system components. And then when do we when exactly does this action happen? Is it whenever a PR is merged?
So yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, and then well, I guess first we run the tests. If the tests pass, then we can run this action in the end.
Yep.
Whatever other actions we have, though, I don't know what
The
else we
build and
have.
deploy to NPM would automatically assign like the package a version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could have that automated, or
But
maybe
change sets could use change sets, which works really well, I think. But I don't know if you want something else, because with change sets we could
Oh, so what is it? Change set?
yeah, it's called change set. Basically on commit, you could specify what kind of I guess bump in the version do we want to have. Is it a patch? Is it like just like a minor change, or like
how about Donna, how about this? Let's just make that versioning manual for now when they're doing the PR, because right I think they would, with this kind, if we make it automated, they would have to kind of like get used to like conventional commit messages and stuff like that. So
yeah,
let's
that's
take that
fine.
out of the equation.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I guess in the future that can be added.
Yeah,
It's not a big
yeah,
deal
yeah.
anymore.
Okay, wait,
So let's
so
think about the MVP. Man.
a little bit confused about like the workflow. So when a PR is merged,
Yeah.
like are
So
we deploying like the newest design system version like manually?
yeah,
So
you changing package JSON
Yeah.
right. So
manually.
so this part is going to be manual, right? What I'm highlighting?
Well,
Mm,
that's
not that part.
automated, not that part. Just like the bumping up the version. So when you create your PR, when you make a pull request, right? One of the file changes that you're gonna have is within the package JSON to bump up the version that you're either probably the minor the minor version or whatever version, just bump up the version in the package JSON.
Yeah, because this action, it will check if the version that we pushed, or like the version that this action is running on,
Right.
if it exists in npm already. If it does, then it's not going to deploy, right? It's just
Right.
well, whatever. We're just going to skip it.
Right.
So when we change package JSON, it
Okay,
will
so like
build it and deploy it.
Right.
So the whoever is creating the PR should include a new version in the package.json.
Yes,
Right,
just
yeah.
bump the version in package.
And then okay. Like I guess a bit is this how it generally works? Because I'm thinking, doesn't that make it kind of hard to revert if we like, detect something wrong later on? Or would it be a matter of just like, okay, if we find like a bug or something, we would just like publish a new version to fix that?
On what we could do is, so when someone makes a pull request, we could run a workflow where, okay, it's checking for it's checking whether, okay, the version in the package JSON that's in that feature branch is greater than what's in the main branch. We could do that just to have like another layer of check to make sure that they're updating the package JSON.
Yeah.
Okay, so this looks good.
Yep.
And okay, anything else? Um,
I think
yeah.
this is good. Another thing is,
The motion should probably be included
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
the first line.
yeah.
So React, the RTL.
So I'm not sure if Donna, so we're gonna need another repo for that CLI, or
Uh, I guess we could just do this, use the same one,
use the
and
same repo?
yeah, we could, yeah, yeah. I'll just use the same one.
Okay.
Should be fine.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna just save this.
Yep.
And then, cool. We can go on to the script part, which is like, okay, how would we describe that? Write script to automate JSON, Figma, JSON file token extraction. So this would include icons, right?
No,
No.
icons should be separate script because
Okay.
that one is generating something else.
So
They're
for,
completely different workflows.
what do you want to start with then?
Uh, what was it?
What do you want to start with? Like what of the tokens you want to start with?
What tokens?
Can we just say, just generate the style foundation using the CLI? So that way we can like decide later on how we want to organize the foundation, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Well, if you're using emotion though, like emotion has kind of like a specific structure.
oh
It's just you're using like you have kind of like values and then
yeah,
it's like nested.
okay.
What would be the outcome of this ticket? Like, because you are writing the script and then you're running the script too, right? With the
Right.
We could run this manually for now. That we just added to a scripted package JSON to read the JSONs that we have. Well, the JSONs exported from Figma, and it would write a file with the values. With the theme values.
to write to a file.
Yeah, and then what we would do is basically you're exporting automatically from this, right? And that's done automatically with a script, and then it's imported from wherever we're using the theme, I guess. And yeah, pretty much it. Easy peasy.
Sorry, the last part one more time.
And you're exporting it, and then you import it wherever you need it.
Okay.
Like
So
it,
like
the
that
theme
won't be
stuff,
until when we
that's-
need it, right? So we can leave that out for now,
Sure.
right?
So Donut, as far as output for this story, are we expecting like a JavaScript object here, some kind?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be, well, yeah, emotion uses, let me just check real quick. Yeah, it's an object, kind of like a nested object with colors, with
Okay.
whatever other
Like
things.
this, right?
Yeah.
And this would apply to colors and typography, right?
Yeah, what else do we have? Do we have sizes and stuff? Yeah.
Icons. We
Well,
don't have sizes because we only have avatar, but do you want to use sizes for buttons? All of the components?
I guess, well, at work, the way we do it is we also have for like, let's say border radius, let's say 3
Yeah.
values using in different.
Yeah, we have to have border radius. I forgot to add that in. But
else?
all
We
of
have
the ones here, these are round. Everything is 900 pixel in my mind here.
okay. Also, I don't know if you're using any shadows or anything. If
Yeah, we
have
are. So we might need that's work for me. I have to create border radius and shadow. There's only one there's large, small, and default. Yeah.
yeah.
all right, cool. So color typography for the radius shadow. Anything else?
Also, when it comes to I guess spacing,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
like
Spacing.
how do we want to handle that?
We could do that too.
Yeah.
I think that can be used in variable, I think. I just have not.
Would they be like increment of 6 or 8, and each one would be like 8
Eight.
pixels?
8,
Six.
yeah.
Yeah, we use 8 pixel. I think 8 pixel is used pretty much everywhere, so we
Yeah.
can do right. Yeah. Yeah.
Put awaiting design. Okay, cool. All right, this looks good to me. We're good on this?
That.
For foundation. For foundation. Okay. All right, and I'll make the same ticket for icons.
Yeah, icons is separate, I think.
And for icons. All right, I guess this is like clear enough. Anything we want to add
Yeah.
here? I guess, oh, you did mention, like, we should
Figma.
do sizing?
So
Icon-
Figma JSON file token is probably wrong because it's not going to be a JSON file. It's we probably want to store those icons somewhere, so it's easier to just run it. You just run the script. We're reading from, I don't know, like a cloud storage, like a
How
Dropbox.
easy would it be to take all those icons on Figma and throw them into some kind of cloud storage?
What was it?
How easy of a task would it be to take like those icons from Figma and like store them on the cloud, like you said?
What if we use an existing one, open source like material? I don't think it matters, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If we would export them from Figma, then we would also need to name them somehow. We would need to name every file, every
Mhm.
SVG. So we could just read that, so to name the icons and the code as well. You know what I mean? But that
Mhm.
probably needs to be done. Can you try this? select one of the icons and just export it to SVG. Yeah, I
Does
think
it let you?
press plus. Yeah. So this one is called, oh yeah, this is fine. It's actually generating, I mean, you already named them as components, right?
Yeah.
So they already have the name. So yeah, you can literally just select all of them and export them.
Yeah, because I think that's one exercise that developers need to undergo. Like instead of giving them like, here's your silver platter from material, it would be nice that they know how to do it.
No, this is great. I think that's
Yeah.
actually great. So when you export them, also if you export the small one, can you go to Figma? So if you export the small one, let's say the side, but yeah, the one on the bottom.
So
Oh,
size.
okay, perfect. Yeah, this is what we need.
All right.
We
So
could
then
read that to
basically,
generate icons.
you are manually doing the extraction,
So the way you would do it, just you select them all, right? And then you just do export.
but you have to individually name each one.
They're already named.
But this is size 18.
Yeah, perfect.
But how would you know if it's like referring to like menu icon, share icon? Well, actually, let me see.
No, if you export them right now, all of them have naming. All of them are named.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, cool. Nice. And then you can deal with like the spacing weird thing.
Yeah, we will just take care of that in the code. If we want to generate, as I said, there's two ways to do it. You could generate component from SVGs, right? Like for every icon, we generate a component, or we could just have like, let's say, an icon component and have like sprites. But we can do that with a script, any approach we want to take. And I can take care of this because I already did this at work. It's literally the same approach. So
All right. How do I add someone to? Okay, this.
oh, I don't think I'm there. Oh, maybe I
What's
need
your email? Send me your email.
my bad. Okay, let me find the Trello.
Oh, we're a little bit over, but I think we're
I
almost
know.
done.
Do we want to like continue this in another session or?
I
Yeah,
think it's,
I think we have enough, right? So
yeah.
Do we want to split tasks? I could work on both scripts, if anything, if you guys, or I don't
yeah,
know.
but so you won't be able to work on them until Carlo set
Yeah.
up the repo, right?
Yeah, so Carl, you're setting up the repo.
Yep, I can do that. I can.
Cool. All right, perfect. So
And
yeah,
I'll probably see you once I have your email. And then I was thinking, like it's not part of the setup, but just looking at the plan that we have, basically spring week, right? I think it would be great to have some kind of guide, for one for the mentors, just kind of like defining expectations for them, and two for the mentees, like, okay, what are like your goals for week 1? What are your goals for week 2, etc.
Mhm.
Just in like a doc. I could work on that and like send it to you guys for like feedback. Would that be okay?
Yeah. That'd be great.
All right, cool. So I'll create a ticket for that and assign it to myself. But also, so for like timeline, Krisha, are we looking end of November for these?
Yeah. That should be fine.
Does that sound
Like
okay?
let's like, so we have like stand-ups, like 2 more stand-ups in November. So yeah.
Okay.
yeah.